Denis Villeneuve, the director behind Dune 2, remains committed to honoring Frank Herbert's novel by faithfully bringing much of its essence to the screen. Nevertheless, while respecting the source material, Villeneuve has taken creative liberties, resulting in changes to character arcs, narrative specifics, and the exclusion of certain characters from the film altogether. This video delves into the significant disparities between the movie adaptation and its literary counterpart. So let's get into it. The Dune timeline is altered in the sequel, Dune 2, as a time jump that happens in the original novel is eliminated. Based on the progression of Jessica's pregnancy, the movie takes place shortly after the events of Dune's conclusion, with only a few months elapsing between scenes. This isn't how it happens in the book, as Herbert implemented a 2-year time jump shortly after Paul became part of the Fremen. This hinders Paul's rise to power and permits the emergence of several relationships. The whole story progresses more efficiently in Dune 2 after the time jump is removed. One of the biggest ways that Dune 2 changes the book is with Alia Atreides' role. In Dune, Part 2, Jessica talks to her unborn daughter in the womb subconsciously. Only at the end do we hear Alia's voice in Jessica's head when she says, "What is happening, Mother?" This is a contrast to Alia from the book, as she isn't even born in the movie. In another significant change, Paul meets an adult Alia, played by Anya Taylor-Joy, who warns Paul of the hardships that are yet to come. This very brief cameo further alters the original novel because it seems to depict a version of Alia well beyond the events of Dune Messiah, closer to the age Alia would be in the third book, Children of Dune. Up until this point, the only other actress to play Alia as an adult was Daniela Amavia in the 2003 miniseries. Frank Herbert's Thufir Hawat is the most notable Dune character that is absent from the sequel. Since the first movie did not explicitly clarify the destiny of the Mentat for House Atreides, Thufir's tale in the sequel will follow the book. He started working for Baron Harkonnen after surviving the Harkonnen raid on Arrakis in the book. He plays an important role in the maneuvering of the Harkonnens in their search for Muad'Dib, only to discover that it was Paul. Thufir eventually died as a result of refusing to kill him. In Dune 2, the entire segment is missing. Several significant changes to the original story are made in the film's conclusion, including the deaths of several important characters. One such character is Baron Harkonnen. Paul Atreides murders his grandfather in the film after breaking into the conference between the Emperor and House Harkonnen. This differs from the book in the way that Alia Atreides is responsible for killing Baron Harkonnen. In Paul's version, Baron's body is left out in the desert to be eaten by the bugs, adding a touch of disdain to an otherwise straightforward story. Chani's departure in the end makes for a massive change from the original when she walks out of the room in rage after Paul declares himself the Emperor and proposes marriage to Irulan. Dune 2's ending finds her in the Arrakis desert, calling out for a sandworm to save her. It's implied that she thinks Paul has deceived her, is angry at the prophecy and the person he has become, and may eventually decide to leave Muad'Dib in search of a simpler existence. Herbert, in his novel, shows a more practical facet to Chani's character, where even after she is dejected by Paul's decision, she does understand that the marriage is purely transactional in nature. Chani goes on to accept her place as a concubine, with the understanding that she'll still be treated like a wife by Paul. The film, however, raises questions about Chani's feelings for Paul and leaves its viewers speculating on the future of their relationship. Paul and Chani's romance is central to Dune 2's story. However, the film omits their first child entirely. This omission is a result of the film's compressed timeline and Chani's changed perspective on the Lisan al-Gaib prophecy. While not mentioned or shown in the sequel, Chani gives birth to Paul's first child in the book after they've spent 2 years together. However, tragedy strikes the family when Leto II dies as an infant during an attack on a Fremen siege. The final scenes of Dune 2 include another change. As Gurney reveals, the Great Houses will not honor Paul's ascension to become emperor. In the book, his threat to destroy all spice mines on Arrakis leads the Guild and the Great Houses to sit back and watch the events unfold. Herbert's novel does not directly say what the Great Houses' reactions were to Paul becoming emperor, but the idea that they immediately challenge his rule is new. It seems to be one way the movie sets up the premise for Dune 3. In the end, Dune. Part 2 presents the anti-hero's journey, which, in a broader sense, is faithful to the novel that was published almost 60 years ago. Do you think the changes made in the film are better than the original events in the book? Let us know in the comments down below.